So this one's in some dire need of some attention, so I'm going to run the CRB over it. And I may have to do some scraping because it looks like there's some gum on this floor as well. Dwell time is going to be key, but you see all that coming out? How dark that looks? Wow. So yeah, dwell time is usually key for Grout Master, and it does the trick, but due to how bad this one is, and I'll show you guys. Look at that. Wow. This is by far one of the worst Slate ones that I've done. It's been a while since I've seen straight brown water popping out from the CRV. I did test clean this job probably about 3 weeks ago. So I was already kind of prepared for how bad this was. And obviously because of how bad it was, I wanted to check and see if there was some kind of synthetic coating on here, such as rejuvenate or mop and glow, because that was going to put it in all different level of taken care of, because I would have to strip the floor before I could clean it. So a lot of times some people have used rejuvenate on the floor as their cleaning product, and that's going to leave a coating on the floor, so you're not really doing it justice after applying that stuff, especially if it's been done more than once, because you're going to be putting a coating over the top of a floor that hasn't been professionally cleaned. So now you're blocking dirt and stuff underneath it, so you got to strip the floor first and then clean it. Now this is bad, guys, but it should look amazing once I'm done. Look at that. Woo. That's awesome to see, though. So I'm gonna have to do some post light scraping to get this gum and stuff probably off. Plus the heat in the machine happens to pop it, but quite possible I'll have to do that as well. Usually it comes off in others. areas where I'm going to have to do some stuff by hand because the cabinets sit real low. So I'll have to get all the edges by hand. So those are some things you want to look out for if you're going to a job. If they have low sitting cabinets, maybe it's going to take you longer to clean it. Because most wands are not going to fit underneath it, and especially a spinner, because they're a little bit taller than the straight wands that you guys have probably seen me use in the past. But these cabinets are so low that even that won't fit under it. So you're going to have to take that into account when you're figuring out the job. It takes more time. So if I had it my way, all cabinets would be sitting definitely higher up. Not only will it save time on the cleaning, but obviously cleaning costs too to maintain it for somebody, and for their general house cleaning as well, because they'll be able to fit their home-based product or tool underneath it, giving them better access to the floor. So even this washer is almost too low. Now, I know manufacturers aren't going to go and think about, well, how hard is this going to be for a cleaner, and design their machines around that, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? So there have been many cases where I would actually probably pre-scrape some of these things up off the floor, but this is so dirty that I wanted to do it afterwards, because if this essentially loosened it up a little bit, it would make it easier after the fact. So that's the only downside of Slate, is it's completely an uneven surface for this type. And it looks like it was kind of laid uneven because there's some lippage. So when you're dealing with that, why my wand kind of flipped up like that, you also got to let the client know, when that's the case, that means the grout joints are going to be most likely uneven. Therefore, the appearance of it's going to be different. And when you see stuff like that, remember when you're putting down your cleaning agent that there's a good chance that the liquid is going to start moving into that lower area And if that lower area happens to be up against a baseboard and it's not tile like these in this area, well then you pose the problem of the cleaning agent congregating to their floor, or sorry, their baseboard, causing it to swell potentially. Now see that? There is something on the floor right over here. It's got a coating. Seems to be only in the dining room area. So when you have that, it's going to take longer for it to come off. I may have to pull out my stripping agent to get that to pop off. So something was put on this floor at one point. It's just not showing everywhere because it's worn off on the high traffic areas, but not in the corner where it probably didn't get touched much, even though this whole thing looks kind of dirty throughout. So I'm gonna have to come back to this area. So far it's not appearing over here in the walk path. So my guess, because it's Slate, somebody put something like Rejuvenate or Mop and Glow on it. Because Slate, when you put like an actual enhancer sealer that's meant for it on here, it helps make the colors pop. Kind of gives it a wet look. And it looks great. But if they didn't use the right product, cleaning it is kind of a pain. And if you try and do it yourself, it's probably going to be even more of a pain, because the average person doesn't have a stripping agent and a way to extract that off. So when you run into this stuff, always document it and share it with the client. If they're home, show them. Or take a picture and text it to them. Okay, this is what I ran into. There's a coating on the floor. Cleaning it's not going to solve the problem. It needs to be stripped. So there's still a little, just a pinch of it over here on the floor. And the worst thing about this floor is because it's so uneven that a coating on it is even harder to get off. It's not a flat surface. If this was like one of those old flat porcelain floors, it would probably be a lot easier, because you're not having to go over all these valleys and pits to get to it, especially if you're going to strip it with a buffer and a stripping pad with the stripping agent. So it makes a difference, guys. So just my personal preference, I wouldn't use that stuff, the Rejuvenate, Mop and Glow. And sometimes if household cleaners are used improperly, I should say mixed improperly, they can cause a lot of buildup, and it can be hard to get off over time. The ones that I've seen do it, Fabuloso has caused some issues, and is probably the main one. And, you know, it could very well be that they're like, my floors are really dirty, and then they diluted it way too much. But I mean, it is a cheaper cleaning product. I did see at Costco yesterday, it for sale was, I think, less than $8, and it looked like it was a full gallon. So I mean, it is a cheap cleaning product, meant for just your, you know, some cleanup. But if it's used improperly or way too much product in there, and that gets done a bunch of times, it can easily build up and cause problems. So just take that into account with anything. The label is the law in most cases. Don't add more just because it's really dirty. Usually they have a scale on there of how much you should use. I mean, even my professional cleaning products do. More isn't necessarily better. You got a really dirty floor and it says 4 ounces to the gallon for a really dirty floor. You shouldn't be putting 6, 8, so on ounces in there. Alright guys, so it looks like I'm going to need some stripper, because now that it's drying you can start to see that film look on the floor here. So remember to always show this to your client if you find it before you finish, and let them know of what's going on. Alright everybody, so I'm going to be actually coming back to finish this up. I went over it with the client and showed him that we got a coating on the floor. See, some of it comes off where I've cleaned, but it is essentially all over. Kind of gives the floor a sandy kind of feel to it. But this needs to be stripped to get this to come off completely. So I will be coming back to this job and stripping it at another time. I've actually also been working on some showers for them to get those to look much better, and I got through one of them so far. But as far as this floor goes, I might do a part 2 of getting this clean. So we'll see how it goes when I reschedule to do the remainder of it. But yeah, basically what I'm going to have to do, except for probably in here due to it being lined with the tile, is I'll have to probably tape and drape most of this off, especially since she just had it freshly painted. And of course, to be careful of the cabinetry, I will probably be taping and draping a ton of this off before I strip it, so I don't worry about the stripper doing any damage to the other portions around this floor. So just wanted to go over that with you guys. Obviously this is a ton better looking as far as the cleanliness goes. You can actually see more of the color, mainly over here where the light is coming through the window a little better. You guys saw it when I was running the CRB over it, how dirty that water was. So in order to get this to be up to par where it's supposed to be, so I can actually properly seal it and not put a synthetic coating on it like I showed you here, I will be using the solvent sealer that I have, which does a fantastic job. But of course, like I said, I got to strip this off first because I don't want to seal over that. So hopefully I will be back and be able to do some video of that so you guys can see. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate your support. And we just hit, I believe, 1,100 subscribers plus. So thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. You can see right there. Oh, my van's right outside here. So thank you all so much. Seriously, I noticed that the first 100 after 1,000 was a little bit quicker than the first original 100 subscribers. So that's But I will continue to do as much content as I possibly can to keep you guys in the loop of how things are rolling with us and how our growth is going. Because like I've said in the past, that is what this channel is about, showing you guys the cleaning. Obviously, maybe a little bit of education here and there. I have actually had a couple people reach out to me for what I use and how I do things because they're looking to get into the business, or they work for somebody and they want to go independent. And so I had a younger guy that's been asking me questions about the machines and stuff like that. And so I'm always glad to try and help when I can, to help guide in the direction that he may or she may need to do in order to be successful in the ways they want to be. So if you're getting started, I definitely commend you on that. It is well worth it. It is, yes, a big risk going into business for yourself, but you know what? It's been super satisfying. So please don't feel discouraged or scared. Reach out to people that you may know that are possibly successful in business. If you do need, then talk to them, ask them questions, have a cup of coffee with them, whatever. Do your research. And again, don't be scared. It is well worth it. I am very grateful of the support I've gotten from family and my wife in the background. You guys don't see her much unless you watched that recent video, cleaning with the CEO. Definitely go check that out. We took care of one of our commercial jobs. But anyways, yes, don't be scared. Take the risk. It is worth it. You just got to be honest, do good work, and you know what? Things will come to you. Because once people realize that you do solid work and you're very personable, easy to get along with, I kind of find it hard for you to be unsuccessful. We've made it through the pandemic, and I gotta hold it to how we treat the clients, how Adam's been treating the clients, and everything like that. He is at least once or twice a week getting some kind of feedback, whether it be an online review or they left us a message or they've been calling us back for additional work. Today, for example, is one of them. He cleaned a fifth wheel for a guy yesterday, some upholstery in there, and then the carpet. Well, the guy called back like an hour, 2 hours after Adam had left and said, hey, I'd like to have him come back and clean my house carpet. So he completed that earlier this morning. And so it's just things like that that can make you successful. Just do your best. Learn as much as you can. Always learn. Read books, motivational books, business books, depending on what industry you're going into. If it's not this one, you can do it. I hope this message helps and finds somebody's ears that is looking for that encouragement. But again, guys, thank you guys for the support in this channel in general. There will be more content. I am looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Until then, have a great day. others I might have to do by hand here.